Hello users, welcome back to Above It All. Speaking of people that I am better than, Joe Rogan. He's garbage. He's a scumbag, right? This guy, not a good guy, folks. I'm just starting the video off with this, getting my biases on the table. Joe Biden, yeah, Joe Rogan, both Joes in this instance, both contextually speaking, all the Joes, they fall into the same category. They're smarmy, dude bro assholes, and I don't like them. Right? I don't like them at all. But there's a lot of people out there, neoliberals, as I like to call them, liberals, as some other people like to call them. I call them liberals as well. People that believe in capitalism, people that believe in markets, people that believe, yeah, healthcare. Let's bargain. Yeah, ventilators. Let's engage in some bidding wars. Yeah. Those people that believe in the sanctity of markets, right? The psychopathic, homicidal jackasses that think that, yeah, let's just put healthcare right on the market. Let's see what happens, right? They went after Bernie Sanders for getting endorsed by Joe Rogan, and I made a video about that. I suggest go watching it. I'll make it like the end screen element to this video. I'll pop that in there so you can see that. And their whole criticism was, Joe Rogan is transphobic. Like, yeah, he is. That's true. He's an asshole. He's garbage. He is a scumbag. As a transgender woman, I find him reprehensible. I find him to be a shit bucket. That being said, I know that what he's representative of, he's representative of the millennial Generation Z dude bro white male. That's what he represents. He's famous. He's popular. He's got a huge following, y'all. So when he endorsed Bernie Sanders, it's one of those things where, yeah, I disagree with him. I even think he's a terrible person. But at the same time, he proves that people that aren't Democrats, people that aren't leftists, can be appealed to by the Bernie Sanders agenda. And did Bernie Sanders say, all right, we'll drop healthcare for trans people, get your endorsement? Yeah, like Joe Biden would do for healthcare. It's like, yeah, we'll drop the healthcare for all. Just give me your money, give me your endorsement. Yeah. Did Bernie do that? Wait, no, he didn't. So he appealed to people like Joe Rogan, who I find reprehensible, without changing a damn thing in his platform. Don't you just respect that? You have to, right? But now Joe Rogan has said something. We told you. Oh, the Bernie bros are basically, they just want to kill brown people because they're all voting for Trump. The Bernie bros. Only 15% in a poll said that they would go to Trump, but they're all evil, misogynist white males. Oh, Joe Rogan's transphobic, so that means all transgender Bernie fans are toxic white males because facts and logic. I literally had someone tell me this. I literally had a liberal say that the only reason I don't find the Joe Rogan transphobia to be disgusting is because I used to be a man. It's like think about that, right? So he's transphobic and that makes him bad. And the only reason why someone like myself would still be okay with him endorsing Bernie is because transphobia, or it's just like, again, these people tie themselves into fucking pretzels just to make sure that poor people having healthcare is a bad thing. So I'm just going to play this clip. Eric Weinstein, he's terrible scumbag. Like, both of these people, dumpster sludge, right? But, like, again, nuance, right? Like, we live in a world where things aren't, like, oh, this person's either terrible or they're Jesus Christ reborn. Like, we live in a world where you can have multiple different opinions. Google cognitive dissonance. All right, so let's see what this is.
Yeah, I want a choice of an actual president that's viable. I don't have one. So then you're going to ask me, well, which of the non-viable people do you like best?
Well, this is the real issue with the Democratic Party. They've essentially made us all morons.
Yeah.
With this Joe Biden thing, they really have. They've
you
made us all
imagine?
morons.
Who do we need? I mean,
I can't vote for that guy.
I can't vote for him.
I can't vote for him.
I can't vote for Trump.
I'd rather vote for Trump than him. I don't think he can handle anything. I mean, you're relying entirely on his cabinet. Like, if you want to talk about an individual leader that can communicate, he can't do that. And we don't even know what the fuck he's going to be like after a year in office. The pressure of being the president of the United States is something that no one has ever prepared for.
Right.
The only one who seems to be fine with it is Trump, oddly enough. I mean, he doesn't seem to be aging at all or in any sort of decline. Obama.
that again, Joe Rogan's a fucking moron, right? Like, if you don't understand how Trump is in decline, but again, he's representative of the people that like, oh yeah, politics, dude. Hell yeah, man. Trump is funny, man. And they like look at like a Trump like clip maybe like once every 3 months on Twitter. It's like, Trump, man, 2020, bro. Like, so yeah, like he's representative of an ignorant, centristy, apolitical dude, bro. Right? Like, this person is the projected voice of millions of people. And it's wrong. That's objectively incorrect that you don't think Trump is in decline. But it's one of those things where that's how good of a showman Trump is. He's able to send and make viral all of his best clips and just cover under the rug any like super obscene shit that he says, just because he constantly gaslights the media and says awful things all the time. The media gets into the whole Trump derangement, whoa, and they don't focus on any of the actual reprehensible things, and he just skeets right by. So it's pretty obvious why an apolitical dude bro would see that. But the whole message here is Joe Biden doesn't get crossover votes. He doesn't. Like, this whole thing is you have Jennifer Rubins of the world say, oh, I need a Democrat I can vote for. Someone who goes across the aisle. Someone who's bipartisan appeal. And as soon as Bernie actually proves that he has bipartisan appeal, it's like, no. Joe Rogan said something about trans people, and even though I don't like trans people, he said something mean about trans people, so that means Bernie is evil by proxy. Facts and logic, so I'm gonna go vote for a rapist. Okay. Like, it's sickening, so I'm just gonna let the rest of this play.
Like, almost immediately started looking older.
Yeah.
George W. almost immediately started looking older.
Well, I think that this is not a change in Trump. Like, Trump in a weird...
It's one of those things where, like, Trump dyes his hair. Like, is that really like all you have to do is dye your hair and then immediately like, oh yeah, it doesn't even look like he's gonna like, again, this is surface level stupidity, but it's a barometer of what millions of people think. And if millions of people think Joe Biden's a crippled, aging lunatic and that Trump is just fine, guess what they're gonna do, right? Like, it's almost like real people exist and we have to strategize around real people and meet them where they are, which is what the Bernie campaign's entire message is, right? It's almost like hello, like nobody is falling for the Democratic pipe dream. I'm sorry, nobody is falling for it.
Weird way. It's just always been this performative, like a fake alpha.
Right, and he still plays golf all the time. Like, he hasn't switched up much. I mean, I'm sure he switched it up a little bit because of the pandemic, because he's apparently a germaphobe, which is hilarious. That this could be his demise. You know? I mean, isn't that kind of hilarious?
Yeah.
That might be what does him in. The guy's always been worried about germs, apparently.
How does that work with his active
that's a weird way to cut the clip there, but I like, again, in this very clip that's going viral, Joe Rogan's talking about how Donald Trump is like a fucking germaphobe and he might get killed by the coronavirus. So it's clear that this guy is not a huge fan of Trump, but Trump has that more. He appeals to people in the same way that Bernie does, and it's like, oh, that guy sounds like a real dude, and that's what's super important here. But you have people like Bakari Sellers, like just going off on it, and this is the tweet that I have while I do my thing. I always try to find like a decent tweet chain you can read while I'm talking with the content, so you can get like opinions that I semi-endorse. Like, I like Noma Keyconst. She's pretty intelligent. She, check out her show and so forth. I like her. I'm not like a super fan, but usually whenever she says something, I think it's relatively accurate. I think that's the point, she says. Bernie is the candidate who can win back the Trump voters who are disenchanted with the Democratic establishment. Do you guys get how politics works? Like, this is the tweet in question. Like, you have all these people. Oh my god, this is literally many people all the USA right now, and this is so badly. This is obscene and deplorable. At this point, Bernie bros are no better than MAGA bros. Like, again, I don't like repeating myself, but I feel like I should, because people might watch this video that don't know my other videos, right? But like, again, if the whole game is guilt by association, right? So, like, okay, Joe Rogan endorsed Bernie. That means anyone who's ever endorsed Bernie hates trans people, facts and logic, right? Then if you're endorsing Biden and Biden's a rapist, And even let's say, like, for the sake of argument, he's not a rapist. He was an architect of the drone war, and helped murder millions of people. But that's fine. That's fine, right? Like that's cool. Like that's, like, oh, that's just, we're in charge of the government. This is what adults do. We murder millions of brown people overseas. That's fine, right? Like, oh, it's not New York City. We're not drone striking people in New York City. But that's okay. So that's cool. But again, like, just think about that logic. It's guilt by association for thee, but not for me. This is how these people operate. Like, and this is like, if you look down here, it's like Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rogan was and still is a Trumper. He never intended to vote for Bernie in November. He was just trying to block Biden from getting the nomination because he knows Trump loses to Biden. This is a real human being, folks. This is a real fucking human goddamn being. And again, like, just, it's so stupid. Bernie touted this guy. He should be ashamed. Oh, it's so stupid. Seriously, I hate liberals, dude. I fucking hate liberals. I hate Democrats. I hate liberals. Republicans are more human than liberals are, because liberals are lying machines. They're architects of a web of lies that is never ending. They just don't fucking stop lying. Like, it's unbelievable, these people. It's unfucking believable. Biden raped someone. No, that's fine. That's cool. But Bernie got crossover appeal from millions of people? No! Joe Rogan was mean to trans people, and even though I also hate trans people, I can't allow this. Like, so stupid. It's mind-numbingly stupid. It's again, I'm just like, I don't, like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to say about this? Seriously, like what? Joe Rogan, who supported Bernie on his podcast, like, Jesus. So fucking stupid. Like, it's just, again, I can't, like, I just can't. I won't. I'm sorry, this video's over. It's just too much stupidity for me. Let me know what you think, y'all. This is fucking shit. Hey, that's me.